Good evening. I'm going to call this special meeting, joint study session between the Covington City Council and the Equity, Cultural and Social Justice Commission to order. For roll, I think we're just going to go around and introduce ourselves. Start down there.
I am Sarah McKendricks, part of the ACSJ.
Good, thank you.
Christina Soltis, City Council.
Jennifer Harcher-Helson, City Council.
Gail Elliott, EC.
Riley Reed, City Council.
Janelle Johansson, BCSJ.
John Smith, I'm on the City Council.
Beth Porter, City Council.
Debbie Hartsock, City Council.
Daphne Hernandez, City of Covington Associate Planner.
Regan Boley, City Manager.
Krista Bates, City Clerk.
Great. Up first is our item of discussion is ECSJ Commission Joint Study Session. I think Daphne, you have a presentation for us, so turn it over to you.
Yeah, I'll just be brief. So the commission and city council are meeting today for their joint session. And we have prepared a presentation, and I'm actually gonna, yeah, thank you. I'm actually going to turn it over to the commission chair, and I'll be here to help answer any questions council or the commission may have. And then I just want to let know that Felicia Daniel is online as well, and she is also part of the commission.
Great. Great.
Well, thank you everyone. Thank you, Mayor and City Council members for joining us for our meeting today. So the purpose of our joint commission is really to go over our commission's 2026 to 2027 work plan, our proposals for Civics 101 workshop and the Juneteenth celebrations, and then some smaller recommendations to support our efforts to advance the commission's mission. Oh, all right, there. Okay. So as far as our work plan goals, we did recently update the strategic plan for 2026 to 2031. This update ensures that our work directly aligns with the current commission's commission membership and equity goals and investments outlined in the comprehensive plan. So both our strategic plan and our immediate work plan are organized around 4 key pillars: promote our mission, celebrate local diversity, facilitate open community dialogue, and serve as a vital liaison between Covington residents and the council. So I'd like really quickly to just go over some of the accomplishments that we've had over the last year. So as far as social media, we did collaborate closely with city staff and other municipal commissions to highlight local diversity. We successfully developed and provided cultural content for 27 holidays and heritage celebrations featured across the city's official social media channels. I'd like to call out our Pride posts. So last year we had 177 reactions, 142 comments, and 4 shares. And this year there was a 54% increase in engagement, 272 reactions, 190 comments, 10 shares. 87 to 88% of those comments were positive. So I think it really just shows kind of the impact that these posts may have, and it kind of shows that there's a normalization in these celebrations. We also researched Civics 101 frameworks in the surrounding cities and conducted a localized survey to gauge interest in a Covington-specific program. And then we also did some auditing of our foundational 2026 plan to make sure that our long-term goals are interwoven with the city council's overarching strategic directives. All right, so moving on to our first key initiative that we are proposing. This is the Civics 101 pilot that we have been planning for the last year. So our original work plan targeted an adult demographic for a civics course. However, when we did our community survey, we found that there was a desire for a more family-centric event and active ways to engage our younger students. So we thought about it a little bit, and due to the current budget and bandwidth constraints, we have pivoted the pilot to be more manageable and cost-effective. So really targeting it for 6th graders through 6th graders. And this is kind of a 2-generation engagement by requiring parents to come alongside with their students and their children. This really kind of acts as a gateway strategy for engaging the two different generations and then hopefully gathering more interest as time goes on. So part of this initiative or this workshop will have a $100 budget challenge. So the core of it is really to gamify a budgeting session. So small groups of youth and their parents will have 100 Covington coins or karma points, points, excuse me. And they'll have to debate and prioritize how to fund just a menu of community projects totaling 295 points. And then halfway through, there's going to be a simulated storm events where they will need to divert for emergency repairs, teaching them the real world flexibility that is needed in municipal budgeting. So we do recommend that this is a 1.5 to 2 hour event. And it's hosted at the Covington Library on a Saturday morning around May. So this kind of aligns with the local government unit schools. And the estimated cost that we have here is $435. And that will cover supplies, tokens, promotional printing, and a small snack station. So this is a 3-year roadmap. Again, this is meant to be a pilot. So our vision is really to start small and then expand to a broader community over the years. So next 2028, have a hybrid model and then scale to a full multi-session community course featuring city facility field trips and like staff presentations by 2020. All right. Moving on to our second proposal. This is the phased Juneteenth celebration. So in response to council's directive to develop an initiative to recognize African American history and culture, we do recommend a phased, sustainable approach to establish an annual Juneteenth tradition in Covington. So right now we are in what we are calling phase 1, so really the summer and fall of this year. Our plan is to consult regional Juneteenth organizers to learn from their established practices. And we crucially would really like to invite fairly compensate a Black or African American community advisor to help guide the format, the tone, the cultural authenticity of this event. We did speak with Maple Valley organizers earlier last month to talk to them about their events, and that was a really enlightening conversation. They have an internal volunteer commission. It's called REACH, so it's all staff run, and they host the Pride and the Juneteenth events. They partner with the local high school as well as their arts commission for booths and arts and crafts. And then they also actively recruit BIPOC and Black-owned vendors through their parks department, who does like a call every year for vendors, and the vendors can kind of check off what events they're interested in. I will flag that Maple Valley is really, really interested in collaborating with us and sharing resources, especially for future events such as Juneteenth, something for the council to consider considering budget staff constraints for these kinds of events. So for 2027, what we want to do is to feature a modest, low-cost pilot event. We're evaluating 2 different options. One is an outdoor community movie night that features a guest speaker, and then a library-based story time and cultural gathering at the library with a professional storyteller. So similar to the Civics 101 workshop, the subsequent years would really expand on these events as community awareness grows. So as far as budgeting, I think one of the things that we really want to emphasize for the council is that we want all contributing artists, storytellers, and the advisors to be fairly compensated for their work and their time volunteered for this effort. We do request a placeholder budget of $550 to $1,200 for the 2027 pilot to cover honorariums, equipment, outreach, and then responsibility to gradually transition to the Parks Department as it kind of scales up. And then, all right, that is a few additional recommendations from our commission. So we actually spoke with the library to kind of work with them to host events, specifically when we were kind of in conversation around Juneteenth storytelling. And they actually told us that we can officially partner with them. So we do recommend that the city enter into a formal 2-year rolling partnership agreement with the library. This kind of allows us to seamlessly co-create events and host like future cultural and civic programming. They can provide us with AV, space to host events, and it's for free. So as long as the event is open to everybody, they are willing to partner with us. So it just allows us to leverage their resources and they can support our efforts. And then for social media, one of the things that we wanted to flag was that because we are a small commission, we do have sometimes issues getting quorum. So we do recommend that City Council assume responsibility for official social media acknowledgements like Black History Month, Pride Month. And this is really so that community recognition can go without interruption. And so this also allows our commission to focus on other things. We do have a dedicated time during our meetings to like agree upon what social media posts to make. So it kind of is another thing that we can take off the plate. All right. And then the last one is just recommending the ongoing approval and budgeting for the ECSJ grants program to sustain future community-driven equity and social justice events. Last year, we had Covington Pride apply. And so I think as interest grows, hopefully we'll get more applications. All right. So as far as next steps, so our commission operates entirely on volunteer hours, as you all know. So to bring these initiatives to life, we really are looking at a total 2027 budget request range of $985 to $1,635 plus allocated staff hours to help facilitate the programs. And then following your feedback tonight, the commission will submit formal decision cards and to be considered as part of the city budget process. We look forward to your direction. For any discussion or feedback.
Thank you, Janelle. That was great. Appreciate it. What was the budget range again? Said 900
to 1,600.
Okay. All right. Anyone who has questions?
Covers Civics 101 and Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Beth.
Thank you. Yeah, did we get an estimate of how many staff hours it would be for those? Like if we were to say yes to all of those requests, the Juneteenth, the Civics 101, and then staff hours to for the posts. Well, and for posts, I'm assuming they make it and we on our social media pages promote it, or what does that look like?
I'll answer the first question of staff time. No, we did know. It just kind of depends on how big the council wants each event to be.
Sure.
So that would be kind of discussed internally with my supervisor and Regan for approval. But I would estimate, I don't know, 10 hours, I don't know, for each event, just depending on site event and then pre-work that needs to be done. But again, that's kind of subject to change depending on to the extent that each event work would need to be done.
Okay, so we didn't just, after talking to Maple Valley, we didn't go, oh, well, on the low end, basic event, it might be 30 hours for the month before.
I think to more accurately depict what the budget would be, because I think it's going to be considerably more than, I hope we can do it for this, but I don't know that we've ever been able to do an event for that. We'd probably need to vet it through our Parks and Rec department and let them kind of help determine what the staff time is going to be and things like that would be helpful. And it sounds like you're wanting to submit a budget request.
Yeah.
So that's can happen through the process.
Right, budget card and then you'll
Yep,
figure that out.
yeah.
And then maybe the second question was to the commission about council-led social media, council-driven social media celebrations. So you're referring to us making posts on our city Like.
Yeah, like
mayor,
the
president,
official
council
city-
members,
That's right. Yeah.
Not just coming from the city, but coming from membership as well.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, yeah.
So, okay, so clarify, I heard you say you, because the commission doesn't always have a quorum, you'd like to make sure the city is actually putting out those recognitions.
That's right.
Not, we can put it out on our own if we
But
want,
that would
but they're
also
asking for the
indicate
city.
sympathy
Yeah,
if it
so
were individual.
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Is that the city would take over posting of those social media. So that's kind of. Yeah, Debbie.
So to clarify, you're not asking that the city staff manage the social media posts, like generate videos kind of thing,
Yeah.
right?
we
Okay,
just want like the city to do the social media posts like regularly.
like they do now.
Yeah, like
right?
exactly, kind of like how we
Okay.
do the MLK posts, just another.
Incorporate it into the communications. one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
They use
Okay.
Words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done in the past, just for my education.
So like from our commission, so
Yeah.
we had to put forth the posts.
The content, the
Yeah,
content.
exactly, the
Ah, and
content.
is that what?
And then the city will post it, but we have to initiate that process.
Oh.
Yeah, so we have to approve and everyone has to be there.
Yeah.
So,
I understand.
yeah.
Yes.
Debbie.
thank you. And then to finish up that question, so the role for council is just the ask is that we would share those on our own personal social media.
On the city, social media.
I think it's
City.
to,
Okay,
it's
to
to
like-
our support to direct city
Yes, direct
staff
staff.
to resume
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
responsibility of ensuring monthly celebratory posts representing ECSJ causes.
And then we. can
Okay.
do the
Yeah, four of them annually specifically. Do you want to read those, Debbie?
Yeah, so the commission in the last meeting came up with 4 kind of standard recognitions for each quarter. So the first one would be Black History Month, then it would be Red Dress Day, and then Pride Month and Juneteenth. And then the last would be kind of one big post for like the December time to celebrate Hanukkah, Yule, Winter Solstice, Kwanzaa, and Christmas all in one post. Because the commission, the city only does Christmas, so kind of grouping all of those into one.
I love it.
So it'd be a responsibility of city staff, Carla and whoever new person is, I think. it would
Did you
be.
talk to Carla about this?
I mentioned it previously, yeah. Of taking that on and just kind of being
So would
yearly.
ECSJ establish the calendar of events every year, just in case you want it to change based on, current events? Makeup of the commission, I think it might be a good idea to use that every year.
Yeah.
Say this is what this is what the monthly
Yeah,
post should represent.
yeah, I like that.
And the commission does have a year's worth of celebrations that they pick through each month. So this is what the commission decided to make as a recommendation for the next year.
Yeah, I think
I'd
what
say
you said, it
annually
is
visit.
what's happening. So
Yeah.
they have a list and then they tell Carla
Yeah.
which one's to post and she posts it.
But they're also generating the content for the post, so that's
Yes.
the piece that
Yeah.
they would like to step away
Right.
from, because they have to meet, approve, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
At least
Versus
just
just
the-
an annual touch on,
Right.
here's
Here's the
what we
post.
wanna see this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, I just had one.
yeah,
one-
go ahead.
Going back to the 2-year contract between
Mm.
the city and the library. Was there any cost to that, or it's just to get on their calendar?
Just
Okay.
an agreement.
And I think what it would
Thank
look
you.
like from the city would be like an interlocal agreement that would be signed by Regan and just kind of an agreement between King County Library and the city. Just being responsible, just having that partnership, at no cost.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Others? Questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Since you all have already created content for a year, I might recommend that be used as like just the baseline. Turning it over to staff, but you all are on this commission for a reason, because you're passionate about making sure certain details are in there, and I think that's where you all shine, and having that presented to them might be regurgitating the same thing year after year, but you guys have already done the footwork on that, and so it would be less for staff.
But I don't think they've done this year. You do it on a, what, every couple of months?
Yeah, we can
Right.
share what we did this
Yeah,
past
we can
year.
share.
Right, cause I mean, I remember there was a post on AAPI like
Yes.
2 years ago, like there's been the commission, maybe not you all, because people that were there before you have created content that was
Right.
driven by our commission, so maybe that can be some baseline. Which would alleviate staff time too, it's already been done, so,
I think it needs to be fresh though every year.
yeah, it could be fresh.
Yeah,
but-
it does. I'm trying to wrap my head around this just because it's a hard decision to make right here. One, it's
Sure.
a staff
Mhm.
thing and the commission shouldn't direct staff.
Right.
That's why we're asking
And
council.
Yeah, exactly.
right, but that's kind of the issue
Mhm.
here is
Yeah.
we don't have the staff person here to
Yeah.
address.
Say yes, no problem.
The situation, yeah.
Okay.
And so, I think what I'd suggest, I guess what I heard is that's too much work for the commission time to put the post together. Is that why you're wanting
To
to?
lack of quorum on
Yeah.
the regular.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest is a subcommittee that works on the posts. Other commissions have subcommittees that work on things. Then you don't need the quorum for approval of those posts. That's an option that could be considered.
I'll just chime in that
Yeah.
there already is a subcommittee for this. The way that me and Carla kind of communicate is that I can't give her anything unless it gets approved by the whole commission, and then that language she posts.
Yeah, I don't know that we need to go that far, but we can work this
Okay.
out.
And I want to be clear, we're not asking for like every holiday.
Yeah,
that's
sure,
celebrated.
sure.
We're just asking for like a small select, easily recognizable holidays and celebrations. And this, we can supplement that. So if there are other things that we think like AAPI is not on there, we can take on that. It's just kind of more so pushing a few of the more regular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
There was just a list of 5, right?
Yes. Yeah, probably.
yeah, so there were four.
Yeah.
4 for the year. And I think, you know, it may not, it's not just, you know, the quorum issue, it's also that, you know, we want city involvement,
Mhm.
Yes.
you know, and,
Yeah.
you know,
Ownership. Yeah.
so it's not just coming from our
Mhm.
tiny commission,
Yeah.
but,
No, that makes sense.
all right, thank you.
Other questions?
I would say just to that point, I think from Carla's perspective, it's the opposite. She really likes having the commission point of view on those posts. I think she would be, and I don't know this, I have to confirm, but a little uncomfortable making them without having
Sure.
your input.
Because are they
That-
really representing?
Right, and that's
what
the reason for
commission
commissions
like?
is
Right.
to give staff and council input. And so what I'm seeing here is we want staff to take over this and determine what the posts and input are. And so we're missing that connection with the commission.
And may lose
Right,
some of the benefit of the content.
yeah.
Yeah, I see that. I think maybe, to the point that I was making, it could be a, you know, our commission and city council. And there you go, you know, with that post.
Wait, Christina's,
What do
yeah,
you
go
mean?
ahead, Christina.
No, I would echo exactly what was just said, and I just wonder, out of respect for our staff as well and their time, I can only imagine if like every commission came and said, we want you to post on behalf of us. So we, you know, it's kind of a one for all and all for one. And I understand the desire for there to be like a support or backing, but again, this is what commissions are created for. And I would rather hear your voice than, you know, just our voice once again. That's the unique piece of it to me. So, you know.
Yeah, I'll get to you then. Beth, go ahead.
I think one of the things that when I recall back in 2020, when we were starting to think about forming this commission, I was just on the council. But we went through, there was some recommended training that we went through, watched the video from the Ontario CASI, remember all the acronym, what it means, but there was a way for us that we're trying to elevate our culture within our city among staff, council, commission, and they partner with other commissions too. Raise awareness of like diversity, equity, cultural and social justice. And I like the idea of having the staff involved maybe a little more, because I feel like there may not be consistency across all departments in exactly why this commission was started. So, example, we have a prayer. Well, I mean, it's a prayer, but it's not non-denominational. It doesn't necessarily associate with, maybe different religions that aren't, say, Christian. I'll just pick that. Or we're not talking about, accessibility and sidewalks and things like that, right? How do we get everybody to think about those types of concerns and all of the workflow that we have? I mean, maybe it's not appropriate in every single one, but is that culture there? And how do we know that? Because as we start to become more diverse, it will be important. Or open.
Are you saying that things from the commission go to each department, or?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what that would look like, but I mean, I don't know if that's kind of what you were talking about, Sarah, getting staff involved just to kind of make sure that we're all elevating and holding ourselves to a higher standard of inclusion.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Because the reality is that we are volunteer based. We're not here for very long. We have 2-year terms, but city staff are here for the long term and the long haul. And so I think it actually makes more of a difference for community members to know their city staff by name and to know that they back what our commission is doing. And that it's not just, a select few POCs who want to make a stand,
Yeah.
Janelle.
Yeah, kind of exactly what has been said. When we're making posts on social media, it says, ECSJ celebrates XYZ, and it makes it sound like that it's just our little bubble of 5-6 people who are celebrating that, and not really the city itself. And you don't really see that when you're looking at like City of Auburn or other cities, Maple Valley. They're not saying like, oh, this one commission is celebrating this. So I really think that for Covington to represent themselves as a diverse, equitable, open place, they should have the ownership of doing so on social media at least.
Yeah, you're right. Our posts definitely say ECSJ.
Yeah.
You're right.
It actually bothers
Very
me
good call out.
because I feel that a lot of the posts and the celebrations are things that I would like to celebrate. So I repost it or like it or comment on it, but the council supports your guys' work. It could say city council celebrates or the city of Covington celebrates. And also on the point of if every commission asked us to make posts on their behalf, that'd be a lot of work, right? Okay, well, not every commission needs that support at this time. This commission is asking for 5 posts a year from our staff. And they just want our support and our backing, saying that we agree with all the hard work that they've volunteered. So over their 2-year terms, so I'm all for it. How we're gonna get it done.
I don't think it's an issue of making the post. We can make that happen. I think it's just the issue of putting the content together to make sure it is connecting with what the commission wants. That's my point.
Okay.
Internally, I can work with Daphne and Carla, and we can make the post happen. And we can maybe just determine the content as well.
Yeah.
So
Maybe the content could be sent out to the commission a month beforehand saying, is there anything that you want to correct? Or are you good? Yeah.
I think that goes to their issue though of not having a quorum and not being able to approve it, and then
Yeah.
we wouldn't be able to send it out. So I
If
think
they had a subcommittee, could they not quorum technically?
I think we could probably make something like that work,
Right.
but if we want to handle this internally, I think Daphne, me, Carla, and probably Selena should get together. We can figure that out.
And then get back to us on what you discussed. Yeah, okay. I had some questions on other parts of your work plan. Overall, I think it's really good. I like the fact that, your goals are clearly defined and connected to your mission, and the workload seems reasonable to me. You know, it seems like some doable things and will show progress and movement on some of these issues. So I appreciate that. I think after we get through this work plan, look at, you know, what we did really well and then where we can stretch on some of these. So you already answered, we had a question about the library partnership and what that looked like. I appreciate getting more on that. I had some others on like the Civics 101. What metrics do you plan on collecting? So, you know, what are you things you're going to measure? And then overall goal of that Civics 101. And then I had another question about it after we hear that. So
So we haven't like created outcome measures, but I think what we were thinking, and commission members correct me if I stray from what we were discussing, but that we have a survey at the end to collect the feedback, what worked, what didn't work, how can we make this better for next year. So I think that's really our main way of getting feedback from the community.
yeah, I think that's important to have some way of determining the impact the class had on these kids and their parents. And I think the survey is really good. Maybe even a, you know, question in there after you've presented a slide or two, you know, if you were looking for information about Covington, who do you call? You know, and then they would get us, you know, it's like a multiple choice. So you can gauge whether what we actually presented actually connected. You know, what level of government is Covington? You know, it's local government, and we focus on mostly land use planning and, you know, policing, things like that. No, but I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that's eventually, well, yeah, no. But what I'm saying is they're, you know, getting up to, there's different levels of government. So, you know, whatever the curriculum is, some way of gauging whether it connected and they actually were at that moment internalize it. So I think that's great. And I am going to write and demand that it's that land use planning question. Is there anything, so was it last year, a couple years, we actually did, went to one of the local schools and talked about city council. And I'm wondering if there's an additional opportunity for us to supplement this. And if you give us direction on what you'd like us to talk about, we can kind of prep some of these students beforehand, you know. So anyway, I'm offering myself to say we'd be happy to do that. So
I think in our very detailed long proposal, we included one section that offered if anyone from city council would be interested in speaking for the event, because I think that would be incredibly valuable.
I'm just gonna go on. Juneteenth, I appreciate the plan for that as well. Mentioned getting vendors. Do we, I guess you work with Maple Valley and learn from them on what vendors they reached out to. Is there any additional work the city would have to do in order to, if we have vendors related to a event? I'm just wondering what hurdles we have to get over for that.
Join them. I mean, I don't know that I'd call them hurdles, but yeah, just like we would do for any event, we've got a process for that and can incorporate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot, I like the idea of either a movie night or a speaker or something like that. I think that'd be a low bar or interesting way to get people's pique their interest. And so you know, I'm sure there's experts on what movies to present, but I think that would be and we're already doing movies now, drive-in or at the park. So, and I've since I've been on council, I thought it'd be great to have a speaker series in town as well. And maybe when we get our new city hall, that we can have community leaders, and this might be a pilot of that to, you know, talk about their experience. Perhaps if we can get someone in Covington, that would be outstanding. So, and then I guess last on the grant program, I know we had the one grantee, and I saw the report and it looks like the event went really well. So I guess just be curious to hear the commission's thoughts on how we grow interest in that potential grant program. So.
I mean, as far as interest, I don't think we really had a long ramp up time
Yeah.
for.
I-
So I think now that, that when we are approved or if it's approved to move forward, I think we can kind of strategize a little bit more on how we can communicate that out further and maybe do some social media. If we were only able to do like one post on it or a couple posts, right? So yeah, I think now that we have a little bit more time, we can certainly think more about what outreach and social media.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Just generically, I know you guys are struggling to move core. Wasn't this one of the commissions we reduced the size of in order to do that? I know it hasn't been very long, but is that working, not working?
So far it's worked, but we did have an additional 2 members join us, so it's helped a lot.
Yes, okay,
So yeah.
good, because I wanna keep hearing if you guys are able to meet or not, and how can we continue to support that, because it's important to the, so.
Other questions, comments? Yes, yeah, Jennifer.
I just want to say I love a good ask from council, and I
Yeah.
think our other commissions need to get a little more bold.
Mhm.
So Regan, if you wouldn't mind encouraging staff to encourage. I really appreciate it, because that is what your council as a resident, as a commission member is here for. So I love to hear a direct ask of what you need from us. It helps us do a better job. And sometimes if it's gray or between the lines, or if people are tiptoeing, we don't hear it or we can't hear it. So I just want to say thank you. Very clear to me. We need to discuss budget for next year's events.
Yeah.
And then also, a follow-up with Regan about city doing a post, and also about the library. I'm gonna call it an ILA, but.
Yeah, the partnership.
Yeah, partnership agreement.
Others? I'll just give everyone an opportunity. Yeah, go ahead, Daphne.
Say, this commission has worked very hard this past year. I think from where we started, this commission has really grown. I think something to point out that has not been brought up is for the Civics 101, the commission did a survey and they received 20 responses.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Just getting any feedback. I think one of the responses that this commission discussed was, how do you put knowledge, or just how do you share some of that Civics 101 outside of the Civics 101 class? So I think Commissioner Sarah brought up of just doing social media posts, of kind of quizzing the citizens through social media of like.
Someone could interview them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, on the street.
That needs a big night.
Yeah, yeah.
But just like doing that outside, and I think the commission would help facilitate. I think that was one of the survey responses that the commission received, as like wanting to get that pushed out, because I think that's, if knowledge is power, and I think a lot of the interaction that the city has is through social media, Facebook. I think that's something that is very interesting, that I've learned from Carla. So I think just utilizing that I think the commission discussed, a lot of the comments are like, why is the city paying this commission to do X, Y, and Z? And so just kind of answering some of those questions that the city is not paying for this, this is about. So just helping the community kind of know some of those through social media, through a fun way or whatever that looks like. So I thought that's important to point out, as it wasn't a recommendation within this, but that is something that the commission has thought about and is kind of integrating within the work plan moving forward. So I just want to point that out.
And with that, our new hire, our communications and marketing person, has a lot of video experience. So once we're through our summer festivals and all that, That's what we're gonna start working. on. I just talked to her today about that, so.
But does she have?
As long as they dress up.
Totally.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I saw Debbie first. I'll go you.
Oh, no, I was just making a comment.
Yeah, it's this weekend.
Just realizing it's 10.
That's this weekend.
Hey, don't be late.
Yeah, don't.
Be there.
Yeah,
Calendar, live by that thing.
And I was gonna drag you with.
yeah,
I was at Lake Chelan this morning. I'm here now.
Yeah.
Calendar works, okay?
yeah. I'm sorry, Daphne.
Yeah, I just want to say, I want to point that out because I was part of the interview process, so that some of the kind of the connections and the questions that were brought up, I was like, this commission and what her role is will really coincide with one another. So I think it's just important to note that the commission has thought about this. I know the city has thought about some items like that. So I think it's just actually executing that and then bringing it forward to city council with staff and everything.
Perfect. Debbie, did you have anything else?
No, I was just gonna make a comment when you said that the new employee has a lot of experience. I was just saying, yes, but does she have experience interviewing a chameleon?
Yeah.
That's probably new.
Good question.
Beth,
So the other question that I have, is there an opportunity, or like, are you all, ECSJ is a small commission, I know it's hard, I mean, you guys really punch above your belt, I know, honestly, but is there an opportunity to attend, to have booths, to have a booth, or have city council help promote at, like, say, Covington Days or at Maker's Market, where we can maybe have a setup where people can take the survey? Because it'd be nice to get more than just 20. I mean, I saw a lot, right? I mean,
yeah,
so I don't want y'all to think, I mean, that's great, but what can we do to get more engagement on that and make it easy? You know, maybe make it shorter so that it's quick questions, whatever is most important to you all. And is there an opportunity for us as we're running city group to help? And I mean, we have a lot we're trying to promote, but you know.
If you wanted additional responses to the survey, if we could just get like a QR code with a brief description.
that'd be great.
Yeah, we could have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flavor Simpson.
Jelly.
No, that's easy. Yeah, yeah. If you,
Yeah, I have that.
At the ice cream handout.
Yeah.
Show once you completed the survey on your phone. And you
Then you get an ice cream.
That would be amazing.
That'll get some nice.
The line's already so long.
Yeah.
It's gonna take forever. They can do it while they're waiting.
While they're waiting, yeah.
Exactly. Any other comments, feedback? Reactions?
Nice job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yes.
very impressed.
Thank you.
Kind of like what Beth said.
It was kind of a slow start for the first couple of years. It sounds like and looks like we've got a
That's
really
right.
good team that's helped to bring it to the forefront.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So,
Daphne and Janelle are amazing too. They've really helped us get up to speed, so I appreciate that.
anything else you wanted to say?
Well, thank you so much for taking the
Sure.
time to review our work and all the proposals that we have. I know it's a lot, but I think it was finally nice to see some traction.
Well, there's nothing else, then this study session joint meeting is adjourned at 6:43. Okay.